It's been a long time since I've passed through this old town. Oh, how the memories start to flow. There's the old movie house, they finally closed it down. You could find me there every Friday night 20 years ago. I worked the counter at the drugstore down the street. There's no one there now I would know. Saturday mornings, that's where all my friends would meet. You'd be amazed what a dime would buy 20 years ago. Now my memories of those days all gather round me. How I wish that they would take me back in time. Oh, Alice dreams of yesterday. Where do the good times go? Life was so much easier 20 years ago. I guess I should stop by Mr. Johnson's hardware store. His only son was my friend Joe. He joined the army back in 1964. How could we know he would never come back 20 years ago? Now my memories of those days all gather round me. How I wish that they would take me back in time. How's dreams of yesterday? Where do the good times go? Life was so much easier 20 years ago. Life was so much simpler than 20 years ago. You know, in so many ways, that song fits this very town, from the movie house closing down to people that I know and remember leaving and going off to Vietnam and never returning. And I just felt it was very appropriate. If I were to sum up the last, well, let's say 10 years of my music and my career in music, this next song, I guess, would have to be the summary of those 10 years. It's from the album God Enabled Me to Do, and it's called He's Alive. Tell me, can you hear the hammer drive those rusty nails in Jesus' hands? Can you see His holy flesh now pierced and torn? Tell me, can you feel the pain that no good man should ever have to stand? can you hear the shouts of ridicule and scorn? Tell me, can you feel the chill that's in the air? The sun's gone from sight. As darkness overcomes the light of day. Tell me, can you smell the herbs and spice prepared to bury him that night? As his lifeless body in the tomb is laid. He's alive, yes, Jesus lives, and he gives like no one gives. To a dying world he's given more than any man can give. Tell me, can you see the look on Mary's face as she walks up to the grave and sees that giant stone's been rolled away? Tell me, can you picture her astonishment as she hears the angels say, the man whom you are seeking rose today. He's alive, yes, Jesus lives, and he gives like no one gives. To a dying world he's given more than any man can give. He's alive, he's alive, Jesus lives. He's alive, yes, Jesus lives, and he gives like no one gives. To a dying world he's given more than any man can give. He's alive, he's alive, Jesus lives. He's alive, Jesus
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at F10. Probably one of the top 2 rooms where more hell, less education ever took place in this whole building. Now, as we go in here, let me just tell you what took place in here. Those of you who may not remember the room number F10, I'm sure some of the guys who had mechanical drawing, as you look out across here, it's all coming back to you now. A little familiar? Yes, there Terry Twist sat about 2 seats back with his big jackknife carving initials and names in the side of the desk daily. And in the back, you got your clay balls and things like that we put together. But probably what took place more often, set up here at the front desk. A teacher probably that we had a lot of fun, we liked him, and that was Charlie Schlappy. And any of you had any of his classes, you knew what the word knobhead meant. And you never had any of his classes until you got hit with an eraser at about 30 feet that left a big chalk mark on the side of your head. Well, Charlie liked to take a lot of breaks. And he used to leave a lot. He'd get up at here, go for a stroll, and he was gone. Well, with about 23 or so guys that were in here, do I have to tell you? Do you think we really worked on those drawings? No. Terry sharpened his knife. Ricky Johnson made the clay balls. Some people played with the lights. We had a guy at the door to watch to see for any teacher traffic. But over here on this wall, you'll notice things have changed over here a little bit. Now, what took place over here? No more windows here now. And the shades are, they look of military reinforcement now. You see what the goal was. You could go with an eraser, or you could go with a pencil. Or you could borrow one of Ricky Johnson's clay balls. The goal was to be fired from over against the wall, hit the shade. You got points for putting a hole through the shade. You got points for making the shade roll up. Now, if you did it with a eraser or if you did it with a clay ball. This went on daily. On one particular day, the door watcher wasn't watching the gate, and Mr. Slappy came in. Well, with holes in the shades and some up and some down, nobody working on their drawings, it wasn't a pretty picture for a few days. And we had lectures, and more lectures. I think probably one of the funniest lectures I remember is Mr. Slappy sitting up there telling us about the destruction in the room, and he didn't believe it was our class. As my good buddy Terry Twist sat just 2 chairs away from him while he was talking, with a knife in hand, carving up and down on the side of the desk. Yes, he was a destructive little pup. I think it was Terry also the one day who got out in the hall into the switch box and shut the power off to this whole end of the school. Some of the other people didn't think it was funny, although we thought it was quite humorous, probably yet to this day. So we wanted to make a quick stop in here and tell you about F10, and any of you who had mechanical drawing, remember the hell that was raised in here. And we just wanted you to see it. And we're sorry the girls missed out on some of this action, because it was fun in here.
The Toastmaster for the evening is also a member of the class of 1971. It seems 1971 is doing a lot of the honors tonight. Actually, it's just a happy coincidence. Jeremiah Tuning, he mostly went by Jerry in school, is a graduate of Canton High School, 1971, graduate of Roberts Wesleyan College with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Comprehensive Social Studies and Education in 79, a graduate from Nazareth College in Rochester with a Master's in Special Ed in 82, and a graduate of Brockport State University with a Certificate of Advanced Studies in Public School Administration with a concentration in school finance in 1985. After graduation from Roberts Wesleyan College, he took a position as a principal in a private school outside of Rochester, New York. He was principal there for 5 years. At that point, he was asked to take a position at Watkins Glen Central School District as school business administrator. After 2 years there, he was asked to come to Cincinnati Central School District to be a school business administrator to help the board and superintendent prepare and propose a large building project to the community. In the spring of 1990, he was asked to apply to be assistant superintendent of school business administration at Marcellus Central School, and was offered the position and has been there since July 1st, 1990. His responsibilities at Marcellus include such things as being responsible for a $13 million budget, developing and preparing new budgets, supervising 4 different departments, supervising the district-wide computerization and employee negotiations. In addition to getting his degree at Roberts Wesleyan College, he also got a wife. He met his wife Martha there. They have 2 sons, Jason 7 and Brian 5. Jerry enjoys working around the house, reading, running, and working with his computer. Jerry, it's all yours.
You can tell the class of 71 is here. Okay, we'll only be here for 3 hours and some odd minutes. It's only 5:45 or so, but just kidding. I'd like to thank everyone for inviting me here. Maybe some of you didn't want me to come, but that's all right too. I'm here. I'd like to say a few things to the superintendent of schools. One of the things that I learned very quickly about being a school business administrator and then assistant superintendent for business services is that everybody in the world wants to run the schools. The teachers want to run it, the parents want to run it, the taxpayers want to run it, everybody wants to have a say. and it's a very difficult task. So I commend your superintendent. It's a very difficult task, and I hope you support him and the board and what they have to do here. I'd like to do a couple house cleaning chores, and the first thing I'd like everyone to do, I know that it's very warm, and I know that a lot of you have shaken each other's hands and might have even kissed each other and hugged each other. In fact, in class, if you did that, you would have been kicked out or something, right? Okay, but what I'd like everyone to do is just to stand and to give someone you haven't seen in a long time a great big hug, and while you're doing that, I'm going to take off my coat, okay? Please do that.
You guys are going to have to tell us whether we're too loud or not after the first song.
We want you to keep in mind that 20 years is a long time not to play together.
But it's still rock and roll.
We're doing the same songs we did back in 1969 and 1970 and 1971. This very song here, I was inspired greatly by this young lady sitting over here with the black shirt on. Her name's Sheila. I sang it one day and she says, "You know, Steve, that sounded pretty good." And I said, "Well, thank you." For you, Sheila. 2, ready, go.
That's right. We're at the scene right now where Bill George stood on that tremendous day. And as you can see, as you look down in here, the view Bill would have had from up here, how he ruled over us, how he was in charge, the power he had. When all of a sudden that body didn't stop for him, it kept moving, it kept coming, and that draft on the bottom door, when it sucked that metal door open just a fraction of an inch, he thought it was one of us screwing around. So he comes charging out, screaming and hollering and swearing at the top of the steps more. Why wasn't somebody sitting in their seat? I thought I told you to sit in your freaking seat. But this individual didn't have blue jeans on and a paisley shirt. He had a suit and tie, kind of a chunky little build. And it was John. So if you can see from the steps out here, those two little short flights of steps, how quickly his power trembled. As Bill walked down these steps, I'm talking about a raise in blood pressure like you've never seen, folks, before. When he got down to bottom, heart throbbing, neck pulsating, John has him by the ears. George is walking a little faster. And it all took place from right down here. And we're not going to forget it. We want it on record. And Bill, we wanted to remind you of that day that keeps us awake nights laughing.
Is that too loud? It is too loud? We can turn it down. We would have never done this back in the 71. We didn't care what you people thought. Now we do. We're sensitive.
This community is not going to be any better than the people in it. And if you want a great school, you have to get behind it. If you want great kids, you have to get behind them. If you want a great community, you have to get involved to make a difference and ask how you can make a positive difference in your community. And that's it. And that is it. So I ask myself, what is it that I want my children to know? I want them to know that they have a future. I want them to know that because Governor Cuomo said things are so bad, that does not mean a thing to them. Because life is going to go on. Ask the person sitting here tonight who's going to speak representing the class of 1931. I just want to put that in your minds, that it's important to communicate the hope into the future. I'd like to read now a letter from the class of 1921.
lights are bright, so
You're looking at room F14. Those of you who don't remember, probably wouldn't mean anything to the girls, but to the guys who had that comp class, in that room, Mrs. Welch, hey, when she sat up there and she used to sit on that little side desk off to the corner with her legs crossed over, and man, it puts you into a daze. And she'd scream at you, I'll take that gleam out of your eye. All the guys were jumping to sit in the front row. Did we learn anything that year? We don't know. But boy, we had a whole lot of visions of other things going on in our mind. And that's what kept us alert in there. So as we passed by this room, we just wanted you guys to be remembered of Mrs. Welch's legs. Hey, that light's steady and we're ready and we're back. Hey, no commercials on this TV, I'll tell you. You're looking at S13, and I can probably say, other than the one classroom you were in earlier, in this classroom, in 9th grade, science, less education took place than any other year. Any of your classmates that we talked to from the class of 71 will tell you probably this year was their most fun year. What brought it to that? I think accumulation of things. At that time, you did not have these single desks and chairs that you have in here. We had a triangle desk where 3 or 4 of your buddies sat together, sectioned throughout the room. Now, our teacher up here was a year-long substitute, Mrs. Harmon. And needless to say, well, we didn't get along, apparently. That's kind of obvious. We liked her. She was a good woman. Now, on one particular day, something very funny took place here. Mr. Twist and myself were sitting at one of the triangle desks. Mrs. Harmon had us working on our assignment. She's sitting up at the desk, reading and studying. Terry, being the devilish guy that he is, never studying, got a big rubber band out, made a big, thick paper wad. Take a shot. We took a shot. Yes, folks, it missed her. And that's what's so funny. It went right past her ear. She never noticed the thing. It hit the back of the backboard up there. We were all laughing uncontrollably, couldn't stop. She come back. The usual scene, slap the face, pull the hair, knock your brains out on the floor. We kept on laughing. Out to the hall we went, and down to the big office we went. Well, once we got down there, we had to figure out a way to salvage our souls. Hey, we ain't going down alone, pal. So our fall guy on that particular day was Ricky Johnson. Now, Ricky was behaving himself, doing nothing wrong. Mr. Hyde says, "What's your problem?" "Ricky Johnson's disturbing us in class. We can't get our study done." "Get Johnson down here." Johnson come down, took the fall, almost got expelled from school, saved our hides, and everything was cool for a couple days. But of all the things that probably happened in this class, there's a couple more quick ones I'm going to tell you about. I just wanted you to know about that one, and I'm sure Terry remembers it, anybody else being in that class. And I'm sure Denny Burr has a few memories, like the time he got slapped with that wooden paddle so hard that I think he broke it from her, and he kept on laughing anyway. She was, I think everybody just had a good time that year. 9th grade science, we enjoyed it. Now, over here, on this wall, you'll notice there's a sink. I don't know if it's... the faucets are no longer here. One particular day we come back from lunch, and our science was the first period after lunch. we come in, and my good buddy Chucky Mead, way to go, Chucky, comes back here. I'll show you how to crank this thing up. Cranks her up. The sink fills up. He cranks a little more, and the faucet breaks off. Now, we have water pouring out of here. We have water pouring out of the handle. We have water pouring over the sink onto the floor. There was only 3 or 4 of us in the room at a time. With my criminal record here at the time, I was just standing innocently by. Mrs. Harmon entered the room. Immediately by the ear, I took a head slam up against the wall, and out in the hall I went. I took the fall for that. She never did know who actually turned that faucet and broke it off. I wanted it on record that it was Chucky Mead, and I took the fall for him, but we all have had a good laugh out of it over the years. Nice going, Chuck.
I wish you guys could hear the conversation that goes on behind here. We're saying, what songs are we supposed to play? Well, what key is that in? What are the words to it? But we're having a good time.
This big open space up in front of us here is for a reason. We left that open so you folks could get up there and dance and sweat and all that other good stuff. Square dance. No, I didn't see anybody stirring.
Concepts of history, we learn how to grab our ankles, okay, and bend over and grab our ankles and count to 3, okay. I'd like to have Jim Reed come up at this time because I have a special gift for Jake Schaefer. Here, I would ask him to come up and bend over and grab his ankles and see if he can recite the Gettysburg Address. The title of his paddle in his closet is Big Bertha. Okay, that's how we knew of it, was Big Bertha. This is the real Big Bertha. Okay.
Mr. Schaefer would like to have been here, but I think he's home with a pinched nerve.
We could have fixed that. All right, let's get on here. We're going to be here all night, and you're all going to be mad at me. All right.
We're in the main lobby, and as you look out, there used to be plants, grass, dead tree trunks, an old dead crow laying in there once in a while. But now there's a magnificent warrior, and that is nice. But on one particular fall, you see it was easy to gain access to the roof of the building. A couple members from our class, and maybe another class was with them, got up on the roof, Halloween time. There again, I don't have to draw the blueprint for you. I think you pretty much know what they had with them. And a pumpkin came crashing through the window. Now, a couple guys from our class took the crash for that, and it wasn't all necessarily all theirs. But I just wanted to let you know that it was these windows, was at Halloween time. There's a few of us that know about it, but I just wanted to clear things up and say it wasn't all our fault, and not all the fault was put on the people that should have been. That's all we got to say from here. We're in the gym. Now, not normally would a lot happen here, but with the right individuals, a lot would. This doorway right over here led out into the hall, into the cafeteria. Now, what would happen here is you'd go to lunch, you come in here, if you had a girl, you held her hand. If you were a homo, you went over here and played basketball. If you were just playing weirdo, you sat up in the bleachers. If you had a car, you went out and revved the engine and laid fish hooks out in the road all afternoon. A few of us came over here and played our sports, the basketball, whatever. My good friend, I'm sorry to say, that little destructive pup, Twisty, was in with us on this deal. We took some apples out of the lunch line, made our entrance into the gym. Twist says, "Watch this." Curse splat right on the wall. So I figured, hey, what the hell? I throw my apple too. Curse splat on the wall. We came through here, and if you'll notice, right here is what is the Great Wall. Now that divider was usually pulled out. There's a doorway in it. Lovers over here, athletics over here, and like I said, the weirdos just set up in the bleachers. Twist and I just made our entrance through the divider, grabbed a basketball, got our shoes off just in time when along came Mo. You see, Mo saw us the whole time. The hell was you guys' idea doing that? Doing what? That's when he got the old head smashed up against the side of the divider. We were brought over here and shown the big spots on the wall. I guess a quick hung jury on that one. We had to clean it up. But we never did throw any more fruit on the walls in front of 250 witnesses anymore after that, I tell you. Now, I'm going to be taking you over here in this doorway, and I'm just going to show you where a little bit of discipline and how it was handled and what the situation is over here. Now, when the bell rang after lunch for you to go back to class, as you can see, when you've got this many people narrowing down this little narrow doorway, you're up quite tight to somebody. Now, what the system used to be here, you moved your arm at an angle, swooped around the person, and you pinched a girl in the ass about 2 people in front of you. Pinch. Ha ha, laughy laugh. Girl turns around, slaps a guy or whoever is behind him. Well, I think on this particular day, about right in here, a pinch worked perfect. Girl turns around, couldn't figure out who did it. Hey, I don't know nothing. All of a sudden, I've got my arm bent halfway to China up around my right ear, up against the doorway. Somebody's got my hair, bashing my head off the door. I figure, who could it be? It's got to be Twist. So I go, Twist, you, what the hell are you doing? Well, folks, it wasn't my buddy Terry. It was Mo. We got caught pinching. And we got a little reprimand on that. I'd just like to confess to something we started doing after this, though. And I think it's okay to say now that it's been 20 years later. Mo always wore a corduroy coat. So we didn't pinch the girls anymore. We followed him out of the gym. white saliva dripping down tan corduroy just kind of set the whole tone for the rest of the day, we kind of thought. So that's how we took care of that problem. Our class always had a problem with authority. We dealt with it, we were handled, and then we dealt back. This little cubicle was the hole of terror as you came through here. Just thought you folks want to remember that, and I'm sure there's a few of you girls in the class remember getting pinched. Where did it come from? Now you can remember where it came from.
Clear down and to the right, on the left-hand side, as far as I know.
What's that road, please? Pick up on here. On these pipes.
What happened to the lens? Something different.
World's funniest video.
many of you had Mrs. Golden for a 6th grade teacher? Can you raise your hand if you did? Oh, look at all of us. We all did, I think. I have something in my bag. I'm not going to pull it out, but I do. It's called a handkerchief. So look at this laughter. You don't even know I'm going to do it again.
Like Evel Knievel, just before he has to jump 40
Every
trucks.
Friday at noon sharp, we had to put our hands on the desk and whip out our handkerchiefs to get a little check next to our name, because that meant we were healthy. I still carry a handkerchief wherever I go, because I was always afraid that I would run into Mrs. Golden and she would ask me where that handkerchief was. This next person that I want to introduce is a graduate of 1971. And we had a lot of fun here. And he's not only a graduate, he's also a very, very good friend of mine. And we did a lot of things in school together. Some things we shouldn't have, some things we should have, and some things we would still do. We have to do all over again. But we also did a lot of things outside of school together. We walked to this place since kindergarten, all the way through 12th grade. At 10 after 8 every morning, from 7th grade through 12th grade, Monday through Friday, I would get a call from Ryder Tracy. He's leaving to go to school, and we would meet on Carson Street, Center Street and Carson Street. We would meet on the corner, and then we would pick up Bill Wilcox at the bridge. And we did that for 4 years. We picked up Bill Wilcox, and he decided he had enough of school and went his own way. Maybe he had too many erasers in the head or something, I don't know. But at this time, I would like to introduce Roger as the speaker for the class of 71, if he would come in and come down at this time.
We told you we were going to do something different for you, Jerry. We don't mean to embarrass anybody, and my wife and my mother are probably the most embarrassed. I want to thank the Alumni Association for having our class in attendance here tonight. I knew Jerry would always succeed. We knew that early in life. I remember when I was about 8 or 9, I got a whole bunch of new toys, and I went down to see Jerry one day, and I asked his dad where he was. And he said, well, he got his birthday present, and he's up in the barn. And I went up there, and he had a whole room of horse manure. And I said, Jerry, what in the world are you doing? He was digging down through it, and he said, hey, all this horse manure, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. Our class was a class that was born during the war, and we graduated during the war. And our first session of school was in kindergarten, and that was great. You went to school half a day, you got to take a nap. We got in first grade, and we found out there was a little discipline involved. Miss Rumble used to make it lay our hands on the desk, and you got your fingers snapped with a little ruler. But that wasn't too bad, and we had to live with that. We had our milk fights dumping in the cafeteria. We had Mrs. Campbell in second grade, and that was great. You misbehaved, she made you put on a baby bonnet. Hey, I can live with that. Third grade was a little different session. Miss Stokes had that yardstick, and I'll tell you, I still don't know those EIOs or whatever it was she was trying to teach us. Mrs. Swayze had a firm look in fourth grade. Mrs. Burlingame pinched our necks until our glasses fell off our face. And like Jerry said, we got our hair pulled and slapped around to 6, and that was all part of the course. We thought it was a big deal until we got in 7th grade. Coming down off a high, and we got in here and we found out we had to start all over again. And there was a whole lot more things down here, like Big Bertha was one of them. 8th grade, your famous MC that's sitting up here in the front row, he was running a healthy black market with school supplies, which used to be stolen out of the stock room and then distributed amongst our class members. This was working fine until John Hyde caught us one morning stocking up. If you were to talk to anybody from our class, definitely 9th grade was our year. We had more fun that year than ever, and science was definitely our class. We were wearing fluorescent green socks, and if Glenda Thompson is here. I have my socks on from the 9th grade party that you had up to your house, and they're still wearing good. We wore navy pea coats and we attended Canton's first night football game. Now in the science class, some things happened that probably shouldn't have had. Some members of our class broke some things, and one of them was a water faucet, and we couldn't shut the water off for ourselves. Terry Twist was very good at changing our grades. We had a problem at noontime. Unfortunately, we got caught by Mr. Darrell one lunch hour, and Terry rearranged the light switch on the wall. Our role model that year was Jim Tilson. He was the first one to drive a car. He had a girl in the job, and boy, we thought that was great. 10th grade, we went on down to the farm show and got up in the top arena, throwing slush puppies at bald-headed men reading the newspapers. We borrowed a student teacher's car to go get prom tables, and we ended up on Armenia Mountain at 85 miles an hour. We had a person that was a master of forged passes. Once you got to study hall, he forged you to go to the library, and from there you were free to go roam wherever you wanted. We had our own field trips in 11th grade. Some of the guys took off and went to State College. Some guys got in the car and went to Zips Bar up in Corning, and that's about what we learned that year. 12th grade, we did absolutely nothing, and of course, our famous trip to Towanda, where we were almost fingerprinted, we won't get on to that. At the time we were getting out, it was the 100th year of the Canton paper. Patton was a famous movie, Led Zeppelin was a group. You could buy a 71 Dodge Charger for $3,800. Evel Knievel was famous, the school budget was only 1.7, there were labor disputes, and there were war. Today, we have 4 couples from our class that are married to other classmates. 52 of 90 live within the district or within an hour's drive. They are in construction, domestic technicians, they own their own businesses, farmers, a commercial airline pilot, an attorney, pharmacist, and a doctor. So what a class that was nothing to begin with. It didn't give a damn about what they were doing here in school. Did amount to something down the road. Our class would be noted for changing the class ring, the distinction of having the parents of the first state wrestling champ, and the youngest alumni that we know of to represent the Alumni Association. We sent our basketball team to the district playoffs. Cross country was started. As I was walking down here a couple weeks ago, just looking the place over, I noticed there had been some changes around the school, and I see they have speed bumps out here now. Well, our speed bumps were when 2 guys were racing at 75 miles an hour up through the intersection up here, and you hit the bump. That was what we knew it was. The library has been moved to the first floor, which definitely has got to save the school district some money. We had some individuals in our class who seemed to, a lot of books were removed from the second floor onto the outer level. Only in the wintertime when they couldn't be found till spring. I see they've reinforced the window shades in the art room. I know when Mr. Slappy used to take his break, we had quite a lot of time putting erasers through the old shades. What was discipline now is possibly called abuse today. And as we just touch on this short note, I'd just like to tell the class of 91, do what's right for you and don't be afraid to change things as they are. Class of 91 wants to thank you very much. And Jerry, I have a gift for you. If you'd come up here.
That's a pitchfork, right?
No, it's not.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
For those of you who can't see all of it up here, it's a watch, and something Jerry didn't know anything about at the time because he showed it for POD at 9:05, 9:15, 9:30. If he told you on Friday night he was going to pick you up and go to Sam's Bar in Elmira, you probably would see him Monday afternoon in another class. So we wish you good luck, and we're very proud of you, Jerry.
Thank you much.
We are now in the basement, below the gym. And what you guys would remember and girls over here, it's all open now, is the old locker and shower rooms. Here were your shower or lockers. Over here were the showers, and I guess this wall has been taken out, and now it's all one room, and the wrestling uses it. What took place down through this area? Well, in football camp, you go to bed pretty early, pretty tired. 10 o'clock's knockoff time, and if you didn't have any of the sharp stones from the main lobby in your sleeping bag, or if somebody wasn't throwing an apple or orange in the darkness of the air and having it land on your face in the night and getting medical attention from that, you tend to stay awake because, see, there was a little extra treat for those of you who wanted to make the trip to the basement to go to the restroom. This door wasn't locked. And when you were here for football camp, you had access to this door at night too as well. Did we use it to run rampant through the school? No, we're too tired for that. But I'll tell you what happened here is you came through the door and there was a set of steps. Where do these set of steps lead? Well, just take a look up here. As you come up these steps, you're now coming into the back of the kitchen. Was it a way to sneak out of the building? Geez, was there money we're looking for? Nah. Freezer, pal. What's in freezers? Well, on this particular day, we've got frozen bread. But on those particular nights, Bill George led us up here on many raids. Popsicles, Nutty Buddies, ice cream by the 5-gallon drums. You bring your spoon, the cups are here, you have your party, and you go back to bed. Now, in recent years, I've been told that they no longer can have the football camp here, and one of the main reasons is they can't afford to feed them. I think a lot of that is attributed back to when they took such a severe loss, not from the meals they served us out there where we ate them out house and home. But yes, folks, in 1 week of football camp, a freezer this size, and there were some larger chest-type freezers in here, when they start full of ice cream in the beginning of the week before school starts, and they're down to here at the end of the week, it doesn't take a lot of algebra to figure out you're having a little bit of a loss. Bill George is the only guy I know that maintained his weight entirely through football camp without a loss. Down there's where it started, up here's where it ended. And Bill, if you're listening out there, was wondering if you could send a reimbursement back to the school to help pay for the ice cream. Thanks very much. We're sitting in the cafeteria now. No, we're not stealing fruit. No, we're not raising hell. It's just a study hall. Mrs. Driscoll is our teacher. Now, myself and Dave Kneck are sitting down at this end. It's about 2 days after the little incident took place up in our shop, where I told you we had a little confrontation over the chairs. Well, you see, things come back to haunt you, and they work together just like we do. Dave and I are studying down here. Mrs. Driscoll comes down, asks us to kindly go up to the other end and take 2 chairs down that are still up. Well, I looked at Dave, we didn't see it happening. And we ain't ones to follow the program. So she said, okay, no problem. Well, when we walked out through here and exited the doors, we were met by John. Up to the office we went. And of course, we got the old pull off the glasses and swing them by the end routine as he swiveled in his chair looking out across Main Street. I've about had it with you guys. You're out of here. So on that particular day, for no reason at all, I guess the teachers union hung together and they got us back for that. And Dave and I were expelled. I know Dave's going to want it on records for his kids to watch this on tape. And I thought you ought to let you know that's how the follow-up ended here. Thanks very much. We hope you've enjoyed some of these stories. Any of you who want some more in-depth, I'll be glad to sit down with you and get into them. And I hope you have some to share with us too. Have a good time tonight.